Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Michelle Dutrissa and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up here in New South Wales, Australia. Excuse me. Thank you for joining me today. Please jump on, say hello, let me know where you're from. It has been a little while since I have done a live, so it is fantastic to be back on here and playing with some products. Excuse me, a frog in my throat today. Okay, so we're going to be looking at Friends for Life, which is this lovely stamp set here, and it has coordinating dies, and we're going to be playing with that as well as the coordinating cards designer series paper as well. So I've decided today I'm going to make 3 cards because this designer series paper is a little bit busy. And really you don't need to do much on it. It sort of works for itself. So hello Joan, thank you for joining. So there's not going to be too much design elements or anything on it today. We're just going to let the paper speak for itself, but I am going to be playing with, because I've just received this, I haven't even used it yet, but one of the cards I'm going to make, I am going to emboss it with the dotted circles. I saw a card not long ago that someone else had done using this and this designer series paper, and I thought, oh, that looks very effective. So I've grabbed this. Hello, Deborah. Yes, my holiday was wonderful. Didn't want to come back. It's cold here. There was anything up to about 10 degrees warmer down on the coast, and it's only an hour and a half away. So, I mean, yeah, it was beautiful. Thank you for asking. So we're going to give this also a try. So what I have done is I've chosen, let me just pop all this out of the road. I've chosen 3 card bases. I have got, I'll just pull out these just so you can see the card base colours. I've chosen Granny Apple Green, because these are the colours that are in the designer series paper. Granny Apple Green, Blueberry Bushel, and Melon Mumbo. They're just 3 of the colours. I think any colour will go really well with this. Hi, Deb. How are you? You know that feeling? You're feeling the cold there too? Yeah, it's just, since we've been back, it has been cold and wet, but not pouring rain, just drizzly rain, so everything's just miserable. The clouds are trying to part in the blue sky. I'm just looking out the window at the moment. Blue sky is trying to creep through. But, yeah, it's just been quite miserable, and we just had such beautiful weather. Hello, Jean. How are you? It's great to have you with us today. Yeah, the weather was just magnificent while we were down there. We didn't have any rain. It was beautiful. As I said, it was 10 degrees warmer. We were sort of keeping a track on the temperatures here in Moss Vale, and it was like 1 degree here, but we were in, at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we were sitting there at 10 degrees. It was just lovely, and it was just nice to get away. Crossed a couple of things off my bucket list, one being whale watching, so we went whale watching. That was fantastic. Luckily, a friend of mine had said, make sure you take a very warm jacket. So I have got this jacket that I bought a couple of years ago, and believe it or not, it is actually too hot to wear it here in the Highlands unless it was snowing. But it kept me nice and warm on the boat because I was sitting outside, as you do. And I was warm as toast. So had a lovely time. So yeah, we didn't go and see anybody or anything like that. We just spent time together, driving around and just having a really good time. So it was nice to get away. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So, but anyway, let's get back to these cards. So they're the colours that are doing the card bases. These are the papers I've decided to use. So with the Melon Mumbo, I've decided to use this particular DSP, and I've cut it down to 9.7 by 14.1 in my DSP, and my matte I'm going to do in basic white, and that is 10 by 14.4. So we're going to adhere those together. So that's going to be one card. The next card is this one, and this is the one we're going to emboss, because what I saw was that they embossed around this circle here. So we're going to give that a go. Same measurements. Also, everything's just basically the same, just trying out different papers and seeing how we go. The others I may not emboss, but this one we're definitely going to emboss. And then the other fun little one I thought was this one here. Now, I've cut this one down probably slightly smaller because what I've done is I didn't want to cut into any of these squares. So I've sort of allowed these squares to work out the, sort of stipulate the size for me. The only thing I did do is with these ones here, I'll just grab another sheet so you can see. You've got a slightly wider white border on the edge. I just trimmed that down, or even just went in and took off one row of squares off that. So that's what I did with that. But all those little bits and pieces, I've kept them. I've got them all up here, and we're going to use those to decorate the inside of our card, hopefully. So they're our card bases. So what I'm going to do first off is actually grab this one here, and we're going to do some embossing on this piece here. So we're just going to emboss this. And as I said, I haven't played with this as yet. I only just received it in the last couple of days. I hope you all got to see my photos of my holidays. I was posting them all up there for you. If you get to go to Kiama, worthwhile staying at the Kiama Cabins, I think they're called. They're run by the local council, and they were very, very well maintained. Even had washing machines and dryers in there. So we were very impressed with them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece in the center of my circle here. Now, I could have cut this with that piece in the center, but I didn't want to. I wanted this to be predominant because this is the color I'm mounting it onto. My card base is going to be in this blueberry bushel color. So I wanted more of that. But what I want to do is get this circle here roughly in the middle there. It doesn't have to be exactly in the middle, so I'm not going to be too fussy. I just want that in the middle. If you wanted to emboss your whole 6x6 sheet of cardstock, this will fit in there, the whole sheet. So that whole width of paper will fit within the these larger format embossing folders. So that's a lot of fun. I can see there that if I line it up with what I can see through, which makes it a lot easier than trying to do it from the bottom, might be able to line that up a little bit better. Just want to take it over a smidge. Yep, I'm going to be happy with that. So let's just pop that to one side and just grab this machine. Oh, my husband got some beautiful photos. He had a big lens on his camera. I haven't done photography for a long time, so I was a bit rusty. And, yeah, he had all his camera gear with him, so that was all good. Okay, so let me see. It's not, we're going to play around because I'm going to pop this on top. Usually if it's a 3D embossing folder, you would need one more, but that's still quite firm. So we'll see how that comes out. So I've just done it like you would do a 3D embossing folder where I've used plate 1 and I've used plate 4 on top. I purchased from Stampin' Up that travel journal. So I've got that here and I'm itching to get some photos printed so I can do that, and then I will post a video of that on YouTube, the completed thing. Okay, so that's how that's turned out. Paper has cracked a little bit over those circles, but not enough that it's going to worry me. I think it just adds a little bit more texture to my design. But if you don't like that cracking, if you give it a very, very light spritz. Hello, Lee. How are you? Thank you for joining. A light spritz of a bit of water, not too much water because you don't want to make it too damp, but just a very light. It may emboss without cracking because the water will just give that paper a little bit more flexibility. But otherwise, I'm actually quite happy with that. Looks really good. And you could even use the reverse side. That's quite an interesting side as well, actually. I think I may even tend to like the reverse side a bit better. But anyway, we're working with this side today, so let's keep going. So that's the only one I'm going to emboss because I thought that sort of worked out quite well with the circles. But we are going to still need our embossing machine. But what we're going to do first off, I'm just going to pop that to one side. And let's put our cards together. So let's fold that up and move that out of the way. Now, Tuesday night lives at the moment are still a little bit iffy. And this is because for some reason, and we don't know the reason why, since I've moved down into my new craft room, I've had a few issues with the internet going in and out. So I don't know whether that's still part of the problem, but my son has built me a new computer which has a built-in Wi-Fi card, which is really good. And even though I'm closer to the router, it doesn't like it at all. So before we went away, I was finding that particularly if my husband was at home and he was using the computer at the same time as I was using the computer, we kept on getting dropouts. So, and I was forever not on the internet. Now, I'm also just adhered that to the basic white card base, and I'm going to adhere that directly now onto the front of my card. So I'm not popping these up with dimensionals, though you could if you wanted to, because I will be using dimensionals elsewhere. And we're just going to pop this onto there, line that up. And normally I would fold my card bases to start, which is probably a good idea. Trying to get this to nice and even. So there's card number 1. Yeah, so internet is still a bit iffy in the evenings because more people are home and more people are using their internet, and for some reason it's not being spread around. Not that that really makes any sense, but anyway, that's what I'm told. So we're just waiting for a cable to arrive so we can go back to old school and connect my computer directly up to the modem. So at the moment, Tuesday night lives may not be happening. It's going to be a play-by-play, see what happens each week, see whether there's any improvement. But it's been very frustrating. So that one there, we're going to glue on that. So we've probably got a little bit more of a border, or even a slightly uneven border around that, but that I don't think that really matters. I don't think you can actually see that with all that white squares. I love this paper. I love the colour, all those beautiful bright colours. Has anyone else had a play with it as yet? It's such a fun paper. Great for teenagers and for younger children as well. But you know what? I think there's plenty of adults out there that would enjoy this paper as well because it's so artistic in its simpleness and its variety of colour. Like it just looks like a paint palette, doesn't it? A little bit. Okay, so there's card number 2. So card number 3 is going to be this one. And of course, all these designer series papers have the beautiful backs on them as well, which you can easily use. That one on there. Let's just fold this one. Okay, so there are our 3 card fronts. You haven't got this paper yet, Deborah? Is there a reason? Is it not your thing, which is quite okay because not all of us can like the same thing, or is it just you haven't found the need for it as yet? On your wish list, I should say. Okay, so now I have got, I'll work out where I've put it. I've got 3 card bases here, which are going to go in the center, and we just want to put a little bit of designer series paper onto each one. And I might just pop a slither of that. So let me just get my trimmer, and I'm going to cut a strip of this off at, let's say, 1.5 centimeters. And I'm going to, that's going to go, I want to just trim a little bit off this top and bottom, just because that's what I did on the original one. And I want to trim this at 14.4. So we're going to grab that, and that one there is going to go there. So I've kept the colour going down the same sort of colourway, following the same down. Pop that onto there, and that one can go straight inside. I'm just keeping this quite simple today. I must admit, I am very tired at the moment. We had our house alarm, fire alarms checked the other day, and one of them decided to go off this morning at 4 o'clock, and I woke me up and I didn't get back to sleep. So my brain's not quite working. It's on your wish list. That's good, Deborah, because I think you'll love it. My brain is just not quite firing on all cylinders today. So I just wanted to, so that's one. So let's grab the next one. So the next one is this one here. And I've got this strip that came off the end there. So I thought what we can do is we can just cut off a strip there. That's a pity it didn't have a bit more of that blue in it. The other thing that I've got is that piece there, which is just slightly smaller. That can go there. It's just a little bit narrower, but that's okay. We'll just leave a gap. Use up some of these little scraps. Never throw them away until you're really sure you don't need it anymore. Now I'm going to bring that in a little bit because it is quite narrow, and I'm leaving a gap top and bottom because it's, as you can see, I've got a little gap there and a little gap there because when I trimmed it, I'd already trimmed this down. Pop some glue on the back of this. That one can go. That's that one done. Now one more. So we have got these stripes. Now we could pop one on the bottom, but of course cut it down quite a bit. This piece here would have cut originally off there, I would say. Oh, it's a bit hard to tell. What have I got left over here? I've actually got that strip. Also got that strip, which could go. Might pop that one down the bottom there. Or the other thing would be is to pop this one onto the bottom. I think that's what I might do. So just going to trim a little bit off there. I'm not quite sure how it's going to go size-wise. So we might just trim a little bit more off. And what I'm going to do is just pop a little bit of glue. Normally I would put the glue onto this piece and then glue down, but this time I'm going to put it on the bottom there. Pop that on there, and then I can trim that piece off. Just like that. Okay. Oops, now we need to pop that one inside there, and I think those colours are better. The other ones were just a little bit on the lighter side. These ones are picking up the nice bright colours. It's nice to be working with some bright colours. It's always refreshing and warming, especially on cold days. You like the reverse side of the paper? Yeah, the reverse side is nice. There's some that I don't like too much. The reverse side of this one here, that I love those colours, but I've had that lying before because I was working out whether I was going to go with this side or with that side. And it just didn't do anything for me. It was just like, no, a bit too much. But I quite like that. But some of the others are quite nice on the reverse side. Because if we look at the reverse side of this one, that's quite pretty. I like all those colours. And that one there, the reverse side, just a small piece of it, but that's actually quite fun too. And you can keep those pieces for doing your sentiments as well. Yeah, you can. I think there is actually an example somewhere of that cut out in the stripes, which looks very, very effective because the stripes are already done for you. But anyway, that's what we're going to do next, is we're going to do some die cutting and cut some of these out. But what we're going to cut them out of is not our designer series paper, but our cardstock. So what I've got here is, it's not those pieces because they've got nothing on them. I have got them here somewhere. Here we go. Pop them over here out of the road. I have got 3 pieces of our cardstock, and I have added a piece of adhesive sheet on the bottom, and I've just got one more to do. I cut these down into 10 centimetre width pieces, and I store them in the plastic envelopes that comes with your dies. So because I keep my dies and my stamp sets together, I've got a stack of these, and I use these for storing things in, like my adhesive sheets. I've got my masks stored in the big ones. And what I am starting to do now too, and I'll see if I can reach one so you can see. is when I'm sorting out my photos that I want a scrapbook, I actually put them into one of these. And recently I had to send some photos to my mum for both my sisters, one to be sent over to England, and it was just much easier putting the photos into one of these. Or actually, I had sent 3 of these with photos, and I labelled each one: photos for my mum, photos for my one sister, and photos for my other sister who lives in England, and said to Mum, just post it in the plastic sleeve because it's sturdy. Okay, it's not going to, it'll be fold in half if they really forced it, but it's not going to fold in half easy. So they come in handy for storage as well and postage. So yeah, I'm starting to use some of these envelopes up, which is good. I've got a drawer full somewhere. Okay, so now I've got an adhesive sheet on each one of those. I'm going to pop these cards up here out of the road for the moment. And with the dies that come with this particular stamp set, you've got the word friend, and then you've got the outline. So this one here, it's the wider one, and I'm going to cut that out in black. So I've got some black cardstock because I thought that'll really make the word friend pop. So I'm going to cut 3 of these out in this wider one, and I haven't put any adhesive sheet on the back of this one because I'm going to pop this up with probably some dimensionals. We'll work that out once we've done another part of the sentiment. But this one here, which is the finer of the friend, now also you could stamp that because in the stamps, it does come with a stamp, so you can very easily stamp that and then just cut it with this particular die here, which will just cut that straight out for you. But I'm actually going to use this with the adhesive sheets. So let's again bring in our cut and emboss machine. This time we need a different setup with our plates. So we still need plate number 1. And I need 2 clear plates. So let's plop that one on the bottom. Now you've got to make sure you put your adhesive sheet facing down. So we've got friend going the right way. You don't want to, basically, you don't want to cut that out on that side, okay? You want to make sure that the adhesive sheet's down and that's cutting out from the top. Pop that on there. Now that's not cutting anything out because I forgot to add the plate number 2. Because usually when I do things like this, I'm actually doing it on my mini, but this time because I've got the big one out, let's just try this again. So I'm just going to pop that up there. I've got that there. So I only really need to run that top part through, pop that plate on. But remember, you need plates 1, 2, and then the 2 Perspex number 3 plates. And we're just going to just pop that through there and just check before I take it all out. Yes, that's cut. Make sure you don't lose that dot of your eye. Whoops. And so I'm just going to pop that little dot out. Pop that to one side. And then we'll grab our Melon Mambo one. rid of that rubbish. Pop that up there. So, what's everybody got planned for the weekend? Anyone doing anything exciting or going away? Going while watching? Hello, Nicole. How are you? Thank you for joining us today. Let's pop that dot out again. Make sure we don't lose that. Seems like the weekend has come around very quick. For me, it has anyway. It's just taking a little while for my husband and I to get back into the swing of things after being on holidays. And has everybody had a look at the new exclusives at the moment, the online exclusives, and what excites you about those? The one thing that doesn't excite me is the fact that we've got Christmas product already. Sort of like I haven't even thought about Christmas yet. Crafting and sewing. I do admit I took my quilt with me when I went away and did a little, not too much, but did a little bit of work on that one evening. Which was good. Okay, where's that dot at the top? We don't want to get that out before we pop that down there. Okay. So now we need to cut. We don't finish that die. We need to cut 3 of these. And as I said, I don't have any adhesive sheet on this one. No plans apart from reading. What are you reading? Reading anything exciting? You're crocheting a blanket for your husband, Deborah? That'd be nice. I used to love crocheting or knitting in winter because as you're crocheting or knitting and as it gets bigger, it keeps you warm. Our heater for our house is in our family room, and it doesn't always get to our lounge room. So I have got blankets that I have knitted and crocheted over the years, and we just rug up underneath those at night time. And the room's not completely cold, and we're just trying to save on also not having to plug in another heater. That we do have one if it gets really cold. Whoops, that didn't quite go through, but that's fine, that'll work. And we've got one more to do. Okay, Dragons of the Pern? That sounds interesting. I'll have to look that one up. Must admit, though, these days I don't do much reading. Should do a bit more. I'm going to try to do a bit of my scrapbooking this weekend because I really do want to get these photos printed and put them in a journal. Who else is interested in purchasing that journal that's in the kits at the moment? I got mine the other day and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. But I've got to wait for a stamp set, which is out of stock at the moment, to go with it. Okay, so let's just bring in, I've got them all sitting on here because I didn't want to lose those dots. Let's bring in this one here. Nicole, that sounds like my children. I've got all boys, and my younger two boys decided, actually most of my boys, four of them I think, all decided they want to knit. I used to have a lot of fun picking up stitches that they dropped. And I sometimes had because I used to take their knitting with them to school, and I've had the odd teacher that has sometimes still come up to me and said, yeah, your boys used to bring their knitting and used to ask me, to pick up the stitches that they dropped. My boys couldn't understand why their teachers didn't know, they're teachers. They didn't know how to knit. They had to wait till they got home for mum to do it. Okay, fingers are getting a bit attached to this, so let's just see if we can get this all sitting on nicely. I might just grab a pair of tweezers here to help. Oh, that sounds fun, Deborah. So again, I'll just line that up. I'm just going to bring this up on camera a bit more for you. Put the first letter in, and then just very letter by letter, just because these can stretch a little bit, so you just want to bring them back up into shape. Pop them down, and then get that dot. See if I can get the backing off it. And pop that dot on there. Just give it a good push down with your hand just to make sure that's all adhered on. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to teach a left-handed how to knit or crochet. It's one thing I didn't have to do. My boys aren't left-handed, but my nephews were. But I don't know whether they ever did. I don't know whether my sister ever had to teach them how to do anything like that. Or one nephew is, I think. But we went through a period of time, the house we used to own in Mittagong, we were renovating it, so we were living, all six of us were living in a caravan in winter. Made it easy to heat, which is good. But anyway, at night time I sat there and knitted beanies for everybody because they were all so cold at the caravan. That was a lot of fun. There'll be things that the kids will hopefully remember. Sitting in the caravan, learning to knit and knitting. And it's quite funny though, because one of my sons, when it was right at the very beginning of winter, wasn't quite with us, and because it was in March, and his birthday is in March. But anyway, he got sick of sleeping in bunk beds basically on top of his brothers. And my boys did scouting. So he went and got the tent out of the shed and set up the tent outside, and he moved into the tent until there was almost icicles on the tent because he didn't want to stay in the caravan with us. He'd had enough. Okay, there's our second one. So I've got one more to go. Haven't lost a dot yet. Let's just move that out of the road. Used to teach the left-handed scouts and guides knots. Well, that'd be quite good. My eldest son, he was very much, I mean, he became a scout leader for a little while, but he taught his brothers knots, and he was really good because he would actually get them to do them. Like, my boys are right-handed, but he basically got them to tie, especially the rope, the knot that you use for your tent. I can't think now what it's called, for your guy ropes. But he got them to learn how to do them upside down, back to front, left-handed, right-handed, because when you went on competition and your tents were very, very close together, you didn't necessarily have room or a lot of room. So they were able to tie their knots upside down, almost standing on their head by the time he'd finished with them. Mind you, they weren't too happy about doing it. But their big brother said, no, they've got to learn. So, whoops, I'm getting this all tied up here. Okay, let's just concentrate on this for a second. So, Nicole, were you a guide leader or were you a scout leader or a parent helper, or what was your role? One more dot. Did the same behind your back in the dark. Yeah. Rolling hitch. That's it. Thank you. Yeah, my boys did all of that. Aaron started off in Cubs and went right through Cubs, then Scouts, and then became, I think he did Venturers for a little while. Never did Rovers though, because by that stage he'd left home and was living in Sydney. Didn't have time anymore. But then he became a scout leader, but he's done all the caving and all those lovely fun things that they do. And I became a Joey scout leader. So that was my role in scouting, because my younger sons wanted to join Joey's. And for them to join Joey's, they had to have a Joey leader. So I became the leader so we could get a group going. Okay, so we've got these. We've now got our card bases. So let's just have a quick look at what we've got here. There's our 3 card bases. So we've got friend to go on there. Oh, it is a bit black, but I think it's going to still pop because we're going to add a bit more white into this yet. We've got friend for that one. And then one for that one as well. So now we need to add a sentiment, another part of the sentiment. So you've got here, so we're using the word friend. So excited for you, friend. It doesn't quite work for me. Thank you, friend. Thank you for being a friend. Love you, friend. Miss you, friend. I'm thinking of just doing just a simple thank you because I'm going to use these as my thank you cards. Yeah, the red, that one looks really effective, doesn't it? And that's what I thought when I saw it done. Another person had done it. I thought that looked really, really effective. Youth member, Brownies, Guides, Venturers, Rovers, was in leadership roles since guide as a pack helper, etc. Wow, Nicole, you are really involved. That's great. I never got to do guiding when I was a kid growing up, so thank you. Just for the fact that my parents didn't know a lot about guiding when I was of the age to join, but I was very lucky. The guide hall was actually at my back door, so we didn't have to go far. But my younger sisters joined Brownies and Guides, so I always said that they had the fun as kids, but I had the fun of doing it with the kids when I had my own kids. And it really was very good, and I got a lot out of it just for myself personally as well. Not only just with working with kids, but it gave me a lot of confidence to do a lot of things that I never had the confidence to do before. So scouting was a big thing for me. But I went through and got my wood badge, and I ended up being a district leader here in the Highlands. I just want a piece of basic white cardstock there, and I have got stamp sets here in each of the colours. So what I thought I would do is just stamp the sentiment 3 times in each colour. So we might start off with our Granny Apple Green. I'm just going to grab a foam mat. Oh, your mum was a ranger, Dad was a rover. You really kept it in the family. Yeah. Oh, look, I hope my sons will get back to it. I mean, Aaron hasn't been a leader now for a long time, but he's still only young. He's only just 29. And he may go back to it once he's had children of his own, I would say. First off, he's got to get that girlfriend. Okay, so we're going to pop thank you there. I might just do that one again because I might have to re-ink my Granny Apple Green. And we might just try that one again, slightly darker. That looks better. So we're going to thank you there. It's a bit of a clean. So what area, Nicole, were you in scouting? Hello, Jenny. How are you? Or in guides? What state and what area? There's another thank you in the blueberry bushel. In Melbourne, okay. Victoria Scouts had a very good, because I used to troll the internet looking for ideas, same as I do now, but ideas for crafts and games and different things like that. And Victoria Joey Scouts, they had a very good website for all that sort of thing. And there's another thank you in the Miller Mumbo. I'm hoping there's going to be enough white in this. It's just going to tone that black down a little bit because that black in those cards is quite a lot brighter than, not a lot darker than I thought. But that's okay. I don't mind it. And I'm going to grab my little cut and emboss. Not my little cut and emboss, sorry, my little paper trimmer here. And I'm just going to trim these up. Now I like to line up the bottom of my words with the bottom of this this plastic piece that you hold on to. So once I'm happy with that all lined up, I find that that's just enough to give me a distance, and I can do it quite straight. So I'm just going to cut all the bottoms first. And then I'm going to turn it around and just repeat, but this time lining up the tops. So there's that one. I still have to trim down the sides of it, but I'm very lucky I've got a fairly straight eye. Excuse me. I think I need another glass of water. Okay, and that's that one. So let's start with this one here. And I think I'm just going to grab my paper trimmer, snips, I should say. You need 20 packs of it, do you? Yeah. I wish they'd had brought it out in actually a 12 by 12. So that's going to go somewhere like that. So let's pop our friend, see if I can pop that up on some mini dimensionals here. I've got some black ones, so they'll do. Popping these in all the areas that are wide enough to take a full dimensional. That's of the mini ones. And then we can then use some of these. Whoops. I like to use these little pieces here and just trim them down. Use up all these. Sometimes you have to cut them even in half. That might be all. We don't need too many. So I hope you all are taking advantage of the special at the moment. Spend $90 and you get that $10 coupon. And the other thing I hope you're taking advantage of at the moment too is that customers can now purchase the glass mat. Okay, we're going to pop that just about there. And then thank you can go there. And I'm just going to add that with just a little bit of liquid glue. Because I don't think I need to have both of these popped up. Yeah, popped up on dimensionals. So that one there is just going to go just about there like that. We might still come back and add a little bit more to these yet. So let's just pop that one to one side and get the next one. So again, let's just pop some oops. Throw that one away. I like these black dimensionals. Yes, I think we do need to sandbox that one. I'd love to get this. Though I can't, I'm actually really looking forward for September. I'm really interested in seeing what they're going to bring out in a scrapbook range. So I'm really hanging out for that. It can't come quick enough for me. I'm just hoping it's not going to be all sort of all flowers. I'd like to see some nice, I don't know, I like stripes and a mix of stripes and flowers together. I don't necessarily want, I don't know whether cliche type things is the right word for it. Okay, let's just have a look. Where can we put friend here? Might go right across the middle of there. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they come up with. Hope it's going to be ranges that we can use for lots of different themes. Now we're going to be gluing this one. Friend, thank you. Might put that one down there. I think that still sounds okay. What was I trying to say? Yeah, the designer series paper I hope that Stampin' Up brings out for scrapbooking is going to be very varied and interesting, or the designs on them be things that can be used for lots of different themes and to suit different countries as well. Okay, so there's card number 2. Yeah, that's I think actually Stampin' Up are very good with their pricing as far as their postage and that's concerned. And I've been quite happy with the fact that it's coming through the post office because I'm getting mine in very timely manner at the moment. Okay, so this is our last card. So again, we're just going to pop these on. Sometimes too, doing things like this in a batch type method is quite good. Means you can make up a lot of cards. I'm hoping that each one of these cards are going to look a little bit different from the other. So you know, sort of, it's all the same sizing, all the same format and everything. So you're batch making, but with the different papers is enough that it's going to make each card look a little bit different, so you're not sort of got 100 of the one card, if that makes sense. I might just grab one more dimensional. So who likes to do scrapbooking? Oh, Nicole, I'm just reading one of your past comments. You started in Perth and in Greenwood, moved to Wembley Downs, ended up as a sea rover at Salter Point, kept moving south each time. Okay. Got friends of mine that are Sea Scouts. They're in Sydney. And this one here, I'm going to angle this just to make it a little bit different. Yes, the glass mat is wonderful. I hope if you don't have one, you can take advantage of getting one now. It saves on all the paper that we were using. Though I do still like the paper for stamping on if I'm or blending on. Though, well, not so much blending, but I suppose, yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say at the moment. I'm blabbering a little bit. I'm sorry. I think there's a place for the paper, but I do like my glass mat. I do like to be able to put ink directly onto it. But as I said, I still like to have the paper for some techniques. Put a little bit too much glue on that. So there's my 3 cards. Now, just wondering whether I have got any bling that's going to be suitable for this. I'm not quite sure whether any of this is going to be that one there. I could probably use the green ones on that. That is Night of Navy, but we might be able to use that one on there. Now, I don't know whether I've got anything in. I do have any retired stuff. So even that blue one there might even be good. I haven't even gone through my stuff yet and pulled out all my retired, which is terrible. But there's a Glossy Dots and Mambo. Okay, let's just have a look, see what we've got. So I don't use a lot of bling a lot of the times, but there's that one as well. I just feel this needs a little bit of something. Okay, since I've got these here, and unfortunately these are retired, so, but I'm going to pop that onto this one. So let's just pop one there. Never always 100% certain about where I'm going to put these, but it needs to be higher. It needs to be a that one there is almost the wrong spot, but I put it down there. It's going to be like it's a full stop, and I don't want it to be a full stop. You know what? Might pop it down there. Okay, so I've just popped on 3 gems on that one. Let's grab this one out, and this one here is Tinsel Gems 4-pack. And I think these ones here will do for this one. So I'm going to pop one there. One there. Oh, I keep ending up in the same situation. That one there just doesn't look right. That one can go there. So that's 1, 2, and I actually think I'm going to remove those because this one here will also work well with the green as well. Because even though this is not quite the same green, it does pick up those greens in it. So let's just pop one there. One there. And another one just down there. Okay. Let me just clear this out a little bit. So there's our 3 cards. Yeah, clear embellishments would work quite well on all of these, just to give them a little bit of a bling. You taught scrapbooking in Adelaide and Perth? Oh, okay, you used to have a shop, did you, Nicole? Yeah, I love scrapbooking. I was on a design team here in Barrow for a while, which was a lot of fun. So really enjoyed it. So I'm really pleased to be able to get back to it and do more. And it's amazing. I mean, you know, I don't have any kids left at home, so I can't take photos of kids anymore, but I've still got lots of photos that I haven't done. So I've got a box here that I've got sort of all the stuff that I want to do now, but I know I've still got a huge amount of photos on my computer which need to be printed. Now I've got some holiday photos I want to get done. So, yeah, a lot of fun. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching me create these 3 cards. I think they're very simple because, as I said before at the beginning, the paper will do the work for you. This one here I think is a lot of fun by adding the embossing folder and adding a little bit of texture to it, and I thought that circle embossing folder was a little bit more fun. I didn't have any plans to purchase that, but like everything, you see something that someone's done and you think, oh, yes, I have to do that one. Take photos of things that bring you joy. Yes, I have to do that. I think that's why I had such a lovely time last week, taking lots of photos. Not that many of them are really good. Just luckily my husband does photography and he got some really good photos as well. So, but anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get back on here to do a live. As I said before, Tuesdays at the moment, I'm going to say it's probably not going to happen until this cable arrives. But otherwise, I will see you next Friday. And hopefully I'll be a little bit more awake and we can create something else. So take care, have fun, have a lovely weekend, and create some fun cards. I'd love to see them. Bye for now.